Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our London studio. I'm Chris Taylor. On day 25 of the US-Israeli war on Iran, a temporary tactical pause in attacks on Iranian energy infrastructure has provided only limited relief as the broader conflict continues to intensify. Despite the halt, US and Israeli forces have maintained strikes on Iranian energy and military targets, while Tehran has responded with missile and drone attacks on US positions across the Gulf and toward Israeli locations. The conflict is now spilling into neighboring states, with Kuwait reporting widespread power outages linked to disruptions in its energy grid. Meanwhile, tensions remain high in Lebanon, and shifting US military deployments suggest the possibility of further escalation. Economically, the crisis is already being felt globally, with volatile oil markets and disrupted supply chains reflecting the deepening impact of the conflict. Turning to diplomacy, Pakistan has offered to play a constructive role in easing tensions. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif says Islamabad is ready and honored to host meaningful and conclusive talks between the United States and Iran, provided both sides agree. He reaffirmed Pakistan's long-standing commitment to dialogue and diplomacy as the foundation for regional peace and stability. The Foreign Office has urged media outlets to avoid speculation until official developments are confirmed, while Pakistan continues to support broader diplomatic efforts alongside countries such as Turkey and Egypt. For more on Pakistan's diplomatic stance, we go to our correspondent Sarah William in Islamabad.
Thank you, Chris. Officials here in Islamabad are cautiously optimistic about Pakistan's potential role as a mediator in this escalating conflict. Government sources indicate that while no formal invitation has yet been accepted by both Washington and Tehran, behind-the-scenes consultations are ongoing. Analysts believe Pakistan's neutral stance and history of facilitating dialogue could position it as a credible host for negotiations. However, authorities are emphasizing restraint in public messaging to avoid complicating sensitive diplomatic channels. The coming days are expected to be crucial in determining whether talks will materialize.
Thank you, Sarah. In Washington, U.S. President Donald Trump has declared that recent U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran have effectively resulted in a regime change, claiming that Tehran's top political and military leadership has been wiped out. Trump stated that the new leadership is very different and more open to negotiations, adding that the United States is now in active talks with Iranian representatives. He said discussions involving Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance are aimed at securing a ceasefire and a broader diplomatic resolution. According to Trump, Iran is now willing to commit to never pursuing a nuclear program as part of a potential agreement. However, developments from Tehran present a more complex picture. Iran has refused to engage with U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, accusing them of backstabbing following earlier military strikes. Gulf sources suggest Iran is instead pushing for Vice President J.D. Vance to lead negotiations, viewing him as a more credible and senior counterpart. Reports indicate that Tehran considers Vance suitable for direct talks with Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf. There are indications that negotiations could resume later this week, provided both sides can agree on the structure and representation of delegations. Amid the escalating crisis, Pope Leo has voiced deep concern, warning that the situation is getting worse and worse. He has called for an immediate ceasefire and urged all parties to resolve their differences through dialogue rather than violence. Highlighting the humanitarian toll, the Pope noted that over 1 million people have been displaced and many lives lost. He described the ongoing conflict as a scandal to the whole human family and appealed to global leaders to pursue a fair and lasting peace. Meanwhile, concerns have also been raised over nuclear safety. Iran's Atomic Energy Organization has accused the United States and Israel of striking the Bushehr nuclear power plant, stating that a projectile landed within the compound but caused no damage or casualties. The International Atomic Energy Agency has confirmed that the facility remains operational and has urged all sides to exercise maximum restraint to avoid any risks to nuclear safety. The watchdog has warned that escalation near sensitive sites could have serious consequences and called for strict adherence to international norms. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.